This guy on the mat is one of the greatest wushu masters in the history of China. But in the past, his own father wouldn't even let him set foot in the training hall. And that was just the beginning of the challenges he had to overcome on his journey to global fame. China, 1910. An unprecedented international martial arts match is taking place in Shanghai. 4 of the best fighters from Britain, Belgium, Spain, and Japan have come to battle for the title of the strongest fighter in China. Standing against them is a Chinese martial artist named Ho Yuanjia. The first opponent is taller and heavier than Ho, but in their opening match, Ho knocks him out in under a minute with fast and precise strikes. The second fight is a spear match, and it ends the same way. Ho disarms his opponent and places his blade right at his throat. The third fight is with swords. As we can see, Ho has mastered every kind of weapon. It takes him only a few minutes to claim another victory. Then comes the fourth and final match, his toughest yet, against the undefeated Japanese master, Tanaka. In this decisive moment, Ho's life flashes before his eyes. We're taken back 30 years to the city of Tianjin, where a young boy stands on a servant's shoulders, peeking through a small window, mesmerized by a martial artist perfecting his wushu techniques. The master lands a fierce blow on a rock and walks away, assuming it's unbroken. The boy runs up, pulls off the cloth, and watches in awe as the stone splits in two. Later, the boy sneaks into a group training session where the same martial artist is teaching wushu, but the master scolds him. Kids aren't allowed in the martial arts hall. As it turns out, this man is his father, who for some reason is determined to keep his son away from wushu. Disheartened, young Ho heads into the outdoors to train on his own while his friend struggles through a calligraphy lesson. That friend is Jin Sun, Ho's closest companion. He often does Ho's schoolwork so the boy can focus entirely on perfecting his fighting skills. One day, the two boys rush into town to catch a martial arts competition. On one side of the platform stands Ho's father. On the other is a fighter from a rival clan, Zhao. Next to Ho Jr. is the rival's son, who mocks him and confidently claims Ho Sr. is about to lose. Unfortunately, the rival's son turns out to be right. Just as Ho's father is about to land a finishing blow, he hesitates and chooses to spare his opponent, sacrificing his victory. After the fight, Jin Sun finds his friend in tears. The rival clan's son, the same kid who mocked Ho earlier, sees this and seizes the opportunity. With his buddies at his side, he starts taunting Ho again, humiliating him and daring him to fight. Determined to defend his father's honor and the pride of his clan, young Ho accepts the challenge and steps onto the platform. But the match ends in a crushing defeat. Back home, Ho's father calls him in for a talk. He scolds the boy and decides to punish him. But before the punishment can begin, Ho's mother intervenes. She pleads with her husband, pointing out that the boy has already taken enough of a beating. She asks him to show mercy. The father relents, but assigns a new punishment instead. Ho must copy a Confucian doctrine 10 times before dinner. Ho asks his mother why his father refuses to teach him wushu. She gently explains that his father is trying to protect him. Ho has asthma, and intense training could be dangerous, even life-threatening, but the boy pushes back. He believes martial arts would make him stronger, not weaker. More than anything, he dreams of defeating the Zhao clan and avenging his loss. His mother calmly tells him that wushu is not about revenge. It's about discipline and self-control. It's not a weapon for vengeance, but the boy doesn't listen. He continues to train outside in secret. Ha! Yeah! Years pass. We now see a grown-up Ho. He has a wife and a daughter, but tragedy strikes. His wife dies as a result of his obsession with fame and glory. His mother is still alive. She urges him to stop chasing victory, warning him that his real enemy lies within. But Ho insists that his asthma is gone. He believes that honoring the Ho clan with victory is what his late father would have wanted. Until the Zhao clan is defeated, he won't stop. Just then, a servant enters with a note. Ho has been challenged to a fight. He accepts. Right before the match begins, Ho realizes who his opponent is. It's the same bully from the Zhao clan, the one who gave him his first and only defeat all those years ago. Now the tables have turned. The rival plans to teach Ho another lesson, just like he did when they were kids. Just like his father once did. Ho signs a waiver acknowledging the risk of death. The fight begins. It takes place at an extreme height. Ho races up a series of wooden poles, but halfway up, he hears the opponent's taunts echoing above. He decides to take a shortcut, leaps, grabs a rope, and climbs himself up. During the fight, Ho comes dangerously close to falling several times. The opponent, getting desperate, tries to scratch Ho with his fingernails. But Ho isn't rattled by the cheap tactics. He stays sharp and outmaneuvers every trick. Ho mocks his rival's arrogance, then lands a powerful blow that sends the man flying. The rival falls from the platform. Ho yells at him to grab the rope, but he can't. Ho wins the fight, and with that, he finally avenges the loss he suffered in childhood. Ho returns home a hero. Everyone around him shows respect and congratulates him. His loyal friend Jin's son throws a celebratory feast in Ho's honor at his own restaurant. During the dinner, two young men approach Master Ho, fired up by his victory. They kneel before him and beg to become his disciples. Flattered and in high spirits, Ho agrees and invites them to drink with him, without giving much thought to their motivations or what they might want to use their wushu training for. Later that night, Ho and Jin's son step outside. Jin offers him a strange drink, explaining it's called coffee, a foreign beverage recently introduced to China from the West. Their home country has become weak, he said, and the West is increasingly dictating to Beijing what to do and how to do it. Ho simply shrugs. Politics don't interest him. He only cares about one thing, the title of Tianjin champion. He keeps chasing that dream, match after match. He defeats one opponent after another, growing stronger each time. Sometimes he doesn't even need both hands to win. One day, Ho claims that his opponents are all too weak and challenges 10 men to fight him at once. And after taking them all down single-handedly, even more people line up to be trained by him. Again, he accepts them all, asking only one thing in return: to raise a glass with him. But one mysterious guy watches the scene from a distance. He approaches Ho and tells him that Ho has never encountered Master Qin. That evening, Jin Sun sits Ho down for a serious conversation. He hands him a stack of bills from the restaurant. According to Jin, Ho's disciples do nothing but drink and eat on his dime. He warns Ho to be careful about who he lets into his life. The next day, as Ho is stepping out of his house, he runs into none other than Master Qin. Qin calls Ho a fraud, and Ho takes the bait, responding with aggression. But Qin answers back just as fiercely. Later that day, a servant informs Ho that his school's income isn't covering the expenses anymore. Their savings are gone. His students are only costing him money. Just then, a group of Ho's disciples arrives at his doorstep, carrying one of their comrades on a stretcher. They claim that Master Qin is the one who injured him. Blinded by rage, Ho storms over to Jin Sun's restaurant, where Master Qin is celebrating his birthday. Qin comes out to greet him, but calmly says he's not in the mood to fight tonight. Ho keeps pushing him, demanding that Qin either face him in combat or get down on his knees and beg for forgiveness. At the last moment, Jin Sun tries to intervene. He begs Ho not to ruin the celebration and urges him to walk away. However, Ho refuses, coldly telling his friend he'll pay for any damage caused to the restaurant during the fight. Jin's son is heartbroken. He can't believe that his childhood friend sees him as some money-hungry businessman. The two friends fall out badly. Ho clears the restaurant of guests and challenges Qin to a duel. They fight with swords, and it's a brutal, evenly matched battle. Both men are wounded, but neither backs down. Even after Qin breaks half of Ho's blade, Ho keeps going. Eventually, he loses the entire sword, but continues fighting with his bare hands, breaking Qin's bones and pushing him to the brink of collapse. Ho keeps pummeling the lifeless Qin, unable to realize the fight should have ended long ago. Qin's students carry his barely breathing body out of the restaurant. Among them is the same young man who had previously approached Ho and warned him about Master Qin. The next morning, Ho stumbles home after a heavy night of drinking and runs into Jin's son. With bitterness in his voice, Jin offers congratulations. Ho has finally fulfilled his dream. But then he says, Master Qin died a few hours ago. What Ho doesn't yet realize is that this isn't even the most shocking news he'll hear that day. When he returns home, he discovers that all his remaining family members have been murdered. Consumed by grief and rage, Ho heads straight to Qin's home, where he finds Qin's godson, the same young man we saw after the fight. The young man calmly confesses that he killed Ho's family, then slits his own throat before Ho can get to him. Standing there, Ho sees Chin's wife and child nearby. For a moment, he hesitates. Then, despite his pain, he lets them live. As he steps outside, Ho encounters his students, carrying the injured disciple, who had earlier claimed to have been attacked by Master Chin. That's when the truth comes out. The student admits he had made advances toward Chin's wife. Ho realizes the terrible truth. He killed Master Chin for nothing. Disillusioned with himself and everyone he once trusted, Ho wanders aimlessly across the country. For months, he drifts from place to place, until one day, he nearly drowns in a river. He's rescued by an elderly woman and her blind granddaughter, Moon, who live in a nearby village. They take him in, offering shelter in a humble barn, and care for him without asking a single question. Every night, Moon hears Ho crying, but there's nothing she can do. Still, she continues to feed him and tend to him as he slowly recovers. One day, she brings him to the rice fields to help the other villagers. But Ho struggles with the work. He's impatient, rushing through it. Later, he sees that Moon quietly redid all his work. The seasons are changing. Ho gradually becomes part of the farming community. He learns how to plant rice properly, respects local traditions, and begins helping Moon with chores and taking care of her grandmother, just as they once took care of him. In his free time, Ho starts practicing wushu again. He even grows his braid back. One day, Moon's grandmother mentions they should visit their ancestors' graves. Ho overhears this, and it stirs something inside him. He begins thinking about his own family and the life he left behind. Eventually, he tells Moon that he needs to leave, but only for a short time. He promises to return after honoring his family's memory. The year is 1907. Ho returns home to Tianjin. He walks through the town square, but barely recognizes his city. Foreigners have taken over. The local people beg on the streets while Western missionaries spread their religion. At his old home, he's greeted by an aging servant who tells him the house was nearly seized over unpaid debts, until Jin's son stepped in and paid them off. At home, Ho burns every trophy and document from his victories. He says they mean nothing to him anymore. At his parents' graves, he tells them he finally understands everything they tried to teach him. He promises his mother he'll never disappoint her again, and asks his daughter's spirit to forgive him for being such a poor father. Back in town, Ho runs into some of his old students. They treat their own servants without respect. When they see Ho, they drop to their knees and beg for forgiveness. They explain that times have changed. They now work for foreign powers just to survive. Ho realizes his country has lost its pride. He decides he must do something to help restore it. That decision is only reinforced when he sees the latest issue of the local newspaper. It features a headline about an American strongman named O'Brien, who's just defeated every Chinese opponent thrown at him. He mocks them as Asian cripples, and brags that no one in China would dare challenge him. But he hasn't met Ho yet. Ho heads straight to Jin's son and humbly asks him for money to travel to Shanghai. Jin refuses. He knows what happened the last time Ho followed this path. Ho doesn't argue. Instead, he visits the home of the late Master Chin. He bows before Chin's wife, apologizes, and asks permission to honor her husband's memory. That evening, a messenger arrives with money from Jin's son. The year is 1909. Ho travels to Shanghai to face the legendary American Hercules, rumored to be strong enough to move a train with one hand, punch through the Great Wall of China, and defeat any Chinese man with a flick of his pinky. As usual, a waiver is presented before the match, releasing all parties from liability in case of death. But this time, Ho refuses to sign. He offers a new kind of fight, one fought with honor, without death, and for the sake of dignity. The crowd roars with approval, but the host lies to the American, tells him that Ho insulted him. Unaware, O'Brien charges into the fight. The man is twice Ho's size, but slow and predictable. Ho, graceful and precise, wears him down with ease. As the match continues, the crowd starts booing O'Brien, but he refuses to admit defeat. Then, in one sweeping move, Ho flips the strong man over the ropes, his neck stopping just inches from a bed of sharp spikes. Instead of letting him fall, Ho presses his foot against O'Brien's chest to hold him up, saving his life. The act of mercy stuns O'Brien. He finally concedes defeat and raises Ho's hand in victory. The foreign officials in the audience are left speechless. News of Ho Yuanjia's victory spreads around the world. He calls on all wushu students to unite, And soon after, he establishes the Jingwu Sports Federation. Jin Sun comes to visit. He's deeply impressed, not just by Ho's victory, but by the transformation in his old friend. For the first time ever, Ho turns down his once-beloved wine, saying he's finally learning from his mistakes. They talk about the dark times China is going through. Jin Sun says he's closed his restaurant and plans to stay in Shanghai. Together, he and Ho start something new. Students come in, droves to learn not just martial arts, but unity of body, mind, and spirit. But foreign powers aren't pleased by this sudden rise in Chinese pride. At the Foreign Trade Council, officials discuss how to humiliate China on the world stage. They devise a plan, choose the 4 strongest fighters from different nations, and pit them against the overconfident Chinese master. In Ho's garden, Jin Sun approaches with news. One of the 4 fighters wants to meet him. It's none other than Tanaka, the undefeated Japanese master. Jin Sun senses something's off. He suspects a setup. But the meeting between Ho and Tanaka is peaceful. They sit together for a tea ceremony in the garden, treating each other with dignity and respect. At last, we return to the beginning of the story. The tournament is about to begin. When Tanaka learns that it's 4 against 1, he's outraged. He says that's not honorable. Each fighter uses their traditional weapon. The Japanese master wields a katana, while Ho uses the 3-section staff known as the sanjie gun. They fight fiercely, almost as equals. Then, in a moment of mutual respect, they switch weapons. But the exchange reveals Tanaka's weakness. He can't properly use Ho's weapon. Still, Ho refuses to exploit the advantage. He kindly offers Tanaka his katana back, and the match continues. It's a grueling fight, with both warriors giving it their all. But someone secretly switches out Ho's tea before the next round. When the match ends in a draw, the referee announces the final round will be bare-handed combat. Both fighters take a break. Ho quickly drinks his tea and steps back onto the mat. At first, everything seems fine, but things take a sudden turn. Ho's movements begin to falter. The match is paused as confusion sweeps the arena. But Ho already knows what's happened. He tells Jin Sun the tea was poisoned. And, sure enough, the teacup has mysteriously vanished. Jin begs Ho to go to the hospital, but Ho refuses. It's too late. His students offer to fight in his place and avenge him, but he forbids it. Ho chooses to finish the fight like a true wushu warrior. Tanaka hesitates. His foreign sponsors urge him to strike, but he doesn't want to. Still, he warns Ho. If they continue, he won't hold back. Ho nods and gratefully accepts the terms. Despite his failing strength, Ho fights on. His legs begin to give out. He stumbles. He nearly loses. But at the very end, he finds an opening, a clean strike to the chest. It's the same exact move he once used to defeat Master Qin. Ho launches the punch, but stops it just inches from Tanaka's heart, then collapses. Tanaka realizes Ho could have ended his life, but chose not to. When the referee approaches to check Ho's pulse and declare a winner, Tanaka steps in. He lifts Ho to his feet and raises his hand in victory. Ho is the winner. Tanaka declares, "I've lost because that's what my heart tells me." Ho dies on the mat, surrounded by his followers, with a smile on his face. In the final scene, we see his spirit training under a starry sky, with Moon standing quietly nearby. This film is based on the real-life story of Master Ho Yuanjia, who lived in China from 1868 to 1910. He founded the Jingwu Sports Federation and is remembered as one of China's true national heroes in the history of martial arts.